Good morning, ladies. I am Karen Ray. I am the founder here at Fave Lifestyles, and it's so good to be here this morning with Joanie Elizabeth Hansen. And I just love the way she goes by Joanie Elizabeth, and it's such a beautiful name. And welcome, Joanie, to Fave.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. It is, and we are coming from the Pacific Northwest. And ladies, what to kind of expect with our little conversation today is I'm going to read Joanie's bio so you get to know her a little bit, and she's going to have opportunities to say hello. And then we're going to tell you a little bit about her story and talk a little bit about being brave and the resilience and all the good things that go with that. So let me just introduce you to Joanie. She's a licensed mental health counselor and mental performance coach with over 18 years of experience. She's passionate about helping individuals align with their true desires and embrace a fulfilling life. Through her coaching practice, Joanie guides clients to uncover their inner diamond and revealing unique value. As the owner of Northwest Counseling and Wellness with Joanie, she's also a published author, speaker, and entrepreneur. When not working with clients, Joanie enjoys learning, meeting new people, spending time with her daughters and grandchildren, and being outdoors, especially at the beach. Oh, so do you have a favorite beach, Joanie?
Oh, just any beach, and I'm there. But I like to go to the Washington beaches. It speaks to my heart.
Oh, yes. So tell us a little bit about how many grandchildren you have, because I bet there's a few ladies out there that have grandchildren as well.
I have 4 grandchildren, and they are just such a delight. They are just like the icing on the cake is how I put it.
Yeah. Isn't it sweet to be able to spend time with those littles? I know it's so different than our own kids, because it's just that, like, we get to go in and just shower them with attention and then walk away.
Absolutely. And they're always excited to see you too.
I know. Isn't it such a great example of unconditional love? It's, there's that love coming towards you. So let's go into a little bit about what your story is about. So you have been one of the authors that is chosen for the upcoming book, Being Brave, hashtag celebrating 1 million women in their courage, because your story is full of courageous steps that you had to take and decisions that you had to make. And so your story is titled Breaking Free, A Journey of Courage from Narcissistic Abuse. Your story shares how you calmly and resolutely decided to reclaim your life after enduring emotional manipulation and gaslighting. Your journey is of courage. A journey of courage began with a small steps towards self-awareness, ultimately leading you to rediscover your worth and inspire others facing similar changes. So, wow, we have not talked about this particular topic here yet at Fave in our interview. So, wow. That's all I can say is wow. So, what did Joanie, this story about, it's a learning process. And I think one of your quotes too, you talk about healing as a journey and not a destination. And so when you were thinking about telling your story, what were the emotions? What kind of motivated you to say, hey, you know what? I think I should share this story.
Oh my goodness. That is such a good question. I really was resistant to share the story at first. And Karen, I feel so grateful to be here and with everybody first and foremost. And I love your vision for empowering women. Such a need for that, and to have our voices. So when you reached out to me, whatever month it was, and said, would you be open to maybe sharing a story on the Fave app? And I was like, maybe. A little background. Right at that time, we were blessed to have my first multi-authored book had just been released. And so I was kind of grasping all that and going, am I going to write in something else? I'm not a writer. There's a story about that in the other book. But when you asked me, and I thought about it, and for me, very strong belief system. So I'm like, I'm going to pray about it. And I kept having a nudge, as I call them, like I should share another part of my story. And then it became very clear of what part of my story I should share. So that that created a lot of resistance. And brought up some emotions for me that I had to navigate and soothe. And I thought, this is so important. It's so important to help people heal and help people to realize that they matter and their voice matters. So if I can share parts of the horrific trauma and process that I had to go through to help give people that message of you can do this, and there's support out there, and you matter, and it can and it will get better. That's what was important to me. So yeah, it was quite the process to write it, and I put it aside for a few weeks and almost didn't share it. And I thought, okay, if it goes on the app and it helps even one person have some hope, then I'll do it.
Yeah. So do you find that women who are in a situations that is narcissistic and there's that manipulation, maybe that gaslighting and some of the other factors, do you think it's hard for them to recognize that they're in that situation, first of all? And once they become aware of it, to what to do next?
Absolutely. It's interesting for me as a trained professional. I had no idea what narcissism was. And I think I shared in another interview that my training, of course, that was 20 years ago, we had a chapter, I want to say a paragraph on narcissism. And in my brain at that time, it was like, oh, that's somebody that's arrogant. Okay. Didn't pay much attention to it because it wasn't emphasized. It became more public since 2020 when people were, everything was closed down, and people were going through a lot of different types of abuse and changes. And so, yeah, it's hard to fathom. Like I said, I could have done without the firsthand lesson, but I'm helping more and more people in my professional life in a whole more empowering way. And then also in my personal life, as people are coming forth and they're sharing, their stories. It's hard. It was hard for me to share this, to untangle, like, what the heck is going on? This is a person that, I didn't know what love bombing was or gaslighting. I started researching a lot when I'm like, what is going on? Here's this person that, I entrusted my heart to and thought it was real love. And then you see a whole different side of them that you go, what is going on? So it was a lot to go through, and I was thinking about that today. In all honesty, it was probably about a 3 or 4 year process for me to untangle from that. And so, yes, it's hard to know where to start. Who do I go to? And I think helping people not normalize this, because that's not normal to treat people that way, but to heal. So you find your preciousness, your value, your worth, your voice, your boundaries.
Yes, and aren't those all the brave steps that you started taking? The first brave step is just, even like you were talking about, is just starting to become aware that, or question some of the behaviors that you might be seeing, or even what maybe some of the things you might be feeling. Look at all these brave steps you took. So you kind of researched it. And what do you think were some of the other brave steps and decisions you made along the way?
Reaching out to my family members, and I'm really grateful that they saw through what I was going through before I did. So I didn't, there are some people out there, and I feel terrible for them. They get shunned by family members and friends and coworkers because people don't see the other side of the narcissist. They often can come across as, very kind, very amazing in what they do in their jobs and all kinds of stuff. Not always, but often. So people can feel more isolated, the victim. So another brave step was reaching out to my family, getting back into my counselor, healing, learning, to have my own voice. This was really new for me, to learn to recognize what do I need, and then to be able to ask for my needs. That was so uncomfortable because I didn't, I grew up where I had to figure things out. I had to kind of parent myself, and my voice didn't matter. So that was so uncomfortable, very brave to do so. But I want to help empower people to be able to have their voice.
Yeah. So do you feel, Joanie, do you feel that this has empowered your own voice?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes. And just to see that, I think that's one of the things that I really just am really trying to honor and just to show the women that, wow, by sharing our story, not sometimes, I mean, because you were talking about how it has healed. It's been a healing process for you, but also to give you a voice, to empower your voice.
Yes.
And then to also be giving a voice to those who don't have a voice yet.
Absolutely.
Encouraging them. And that's what I see in you coming here and writing your story. It's not just about sharing the story itself. It's about those lessons learned and, stepping into our own and owning that. And what does that look like for you? So it's really amazing what sharing your story can do. So if you see other women that might have a story that, well, maybe, has the same kind of theme, and she's kind of going, and maybe she's on the other side of it too. She's come through this. What would you say to her about sharing her story?
Great question. I totally encourage people to share their stories. And I've done this behind the scenes for a number of years when people come in, and they're entrusting very personal, private things, and watching them on this really over time 180-degree turnaround in their lives, because I feel more free. I have a safe spot. I can share my story. I can heal and learn. So sharing your story on a safe community like Karen's, that's one thing I'm going to say. I felt safe. I felt seen, heard, valued, and cherished. And while I also felt vulnerable, like I'm putting this out there, and over 1 million women, will see it and beyond, because it's now in a book. But to say your story matters, your voice matters. And I really encourage you, if you're kind of on the line, like, oh, I don't know if I can share this, reach out to Karen, reach out to me. I'm sure some of the other ladies on the app would, I can't speak for everybody, but to create some space to share with you, or to encourage you if you had questions, because your story needs to be heard, and you have no idea. You might help even one person that needed to hear that, okay, you went through that, and this is the steps you took, or where you're at now. So I do encourage you to really highly consider it.
Thank you. And I love what you said, to be heard, seen, valued, and cherished.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Oh, and it's such a pleasure, because we've had several conversations, but I got to meet you in person at our photo shoot, and the other ladies in the community. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I felt so loved on and cherished. And we all need that. We need this tribe, and standing up and supporting and encouraging and teaching and leading and guiding, and not putting people down either. So I love that.
Yes. And, you said a couple of things too about a safe space. And so when ladies, I want you to know that when we're talking about sharing your story, it's when you're on the other side of the story, where you can see the hope, the inspiration, and the lessons learned out of your story. And that is what inspires people. It's not that the things that you went through, those are the characters and the things that the emotional things we can relate to. However, it's those things about that triumph of getting through it, where Joanie, where you had to make a decision, where you reached out to your family, where you took the time to really put you first in your well-being. Those are the things where we're like cheering you on, going, yes, go girl, you've got this. And that's what the story is really about, is that personal growth within you. So what do you feel like is that that biggest lesson learned that you can just go, yes, I learned this. I am so proud of myself. Is there a moment like that for you?
Oh my goodness, there's many, many moments in this journey, but really stepping into my voice, my value and my worth, and then shining that on other people. And the other part is your value and your worth. But I was going to say facing the giants, because at one point I went, this is facing this big, huge, scary giant. And it did feel like that. But to say I did it, I absolutely did it, right? And
Yes.
to share that and give people hope, that's so important to me.
Oh, and to celebrate that. That
Yeah,
is really
yeah.
what, we are here to celebrate those. Sometimes they're small steps, just getting up and taking care of yourself,
Mhm.
getting in the shower.
Oh,
Some days when life is really hard. And those are the things that, we just assume that, oh, this is what we do. But you know what? What if we celebrated that? What if we celebrated those small moments of bravery and the big ones?
I think that's important to bring up, Karen, because people see the polished us, right? And go, okay, well, and I've had people like, well, what do you know that you look all professional, but to share that, oh my goodness, there were so many times of on my hands and knees praying, crying, yeah, make yourself get up and shower and figure the things out, right?
Yeah.
And so having that hope, because as you see, polished and doing our, sharing love and light, that celebrate that I call them the small wins. So, oh, I got up and I drank water today, or I got up and I fueled my body, or I got up and I showered. Those are small wins, and celebrate those, because those will build upon that and that mindset and the healing journey.
Yes, absolutely. So, ladies, today we would love to hear what's one small thing, one brave step that you've taken recently that you can celebrate. And so, Joanie, do you have one that recently that you could celebrate, a small win, a brave step that you've taken in the last week or so?
There's there's
A
been
lot.
a lot, which I'm excited about, but I'm really on this beautiful journey of embracing meeting more people, going to different events. So a brave step was going to this phenomenal uh, all day training the other day, and then reaching out to the leader, because um, I had questions, and I thought, ooh, I'm going to ask, would they be willing to
Yeah.
take time and talk with me? And lo and behold, it was like, oh, can you do it? I think I reached out on Monday, and it was like, could you do Tuesday at 10? And boom, I'm doing it. So to step into that and be brave and ask your questions, ask her what you need. And if somebody says no, it's okay. It's not a definition of you. Just be brave and show up and be yourself.
Oh, absolutely. And we have some ladies watching. Hello, everyone out there. We've got Heather, and she says, yes, the small wins.
Yes.
And she's shared one of her brave moments here. She says, my hot water heater needed reset, but I took a cold shower anyway.
Oh, that is great.
Oh, and to do it probably with a smile. It's like, I got this.
That's right. We need to celebrate that for sure.
Okay, Heather, we are celebrating you, because that is brave, absolutely. So, Joanie, as we close out here, what would you like to leave the ladies with? What inspiration or hope, or just a small word to them?
That you are just a precious diamond, and don't let the past hold you back. Find your way forward, and you're made for so much more.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Ladies, we love you. Come share your story. Come chat with us. We are here for you. We are on this brave journey together. And do check out our app at favelifestyles.app, and you can submit a story or be inspired by one of the other stories if you need just a little pick me up. And it's always good to share our friends. And so, Joanie, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me too.
All right.
Have a blessed day.
You too. Bye now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.